Christmas at Marissa's new house looked like a magazine spread, like something straight out of a glossy holiday catalog. White lights draped perfectly along the staircase. Cinnamon and cloves simmered in a silver pot. Every ornament matched. Every napkin was folded just right. Even the laughter felt rehearsed, and at the center of it all stood my mother, Diane, directing the kitchen like a film set. I sat at the far end of the table, wearing the smile I had practiced since childhood. The polite one, the quiet one, the don't make a scene one. Then Mom rose with her wine glass. To my daughter, she said, her voice glowing as she turned toward Marissa, for buying a beautiful home and building a real future. Applause filled the room. Forks tapped. Glasses. Compliments flew like confetti. And then, like clockwork, her eyes snapped to me. Elena, she said sweetly, too sweetly, when are you finally going to settle down? Marissa didn't even try to hide her smirk. Yeah, she added. When are you going to grow up and get your life together? The table went still. Forks hovered midair. My cousin Tessa, always observant, watched quietly like she'd been waiting for this moment. I placed my fork down carefully. I already did, I said. A pause. I just didn't invite anyone who doubts me. Mom blinked, confused. Don't be dramatic. You're still renting that little apartment. I felt the cool edge of the key inside my purse. I'd carried it for 8 months like a secret promise. I'm not renting, I said calmly. I bought a house 8 months ago. 3 bedrooms. An office overlooking a lake. Paid in cash. Silence didn't fall. It slammed. Marissa's smile cracked first. Then Mom's face flushed and slowly drained of color. But that sentence carried years behind it, because in our quiet suburb outside Chicago, my mother chose her star early. When Marissa won a dance trophy, there were balloons, framed photos, social media posts. When I won a statewide writing contest, Mom said, "Nice," and then asked if Marissa needed new tights. Later, the difference showed up in dollars. Marissa's dreams were investments. Mine were too expensive, so I chased scholarships, worked night shifts, studied until my eyes burned, graduated with honors, and got a text message instead of a celebration. The real turning point came years later, during another holiday drive. I had just closed my first major deal at work, my biggest win yet. I was proud. I was glowing. I thought maybe this time she'd see me. Mom stared straight ahead and said, "Your sister's getting it together. You should settle down too." And something inside me clicked. Not broke. Clicked. Like a switch flipping off, I stopped auditioning for love. Back in Chicago, I turned that click into a vow. I took the hardest accounts at work. Stayed late. Learned systems no one else wanted to master. I tracked every dollar like it was oxygen. Raises came. Then a new title. Then leverage. Meanwhile, Marissa kept reinventing herself: sales, events, consulting. Always glossy. Always promising the next breakthrough. Mom kept feeding the image. I saw how deep it went at the cookout for Marissa's mortgage approval. There were balloons shaped like house keys. A cake with icing that read homeowner. Mom looked like Marissa had just landed on the moon. I went inside for eyes. And that's when I heard them, papers rustling, voices tight. 3 credit cards, Mom whispered. Almost maxed. I'm short for closing, Marissa said. 10,000. Maybe more. You can move it from savings, right? Just this once. A long pause. I'll see what I can put on my card, Mom replied. I stepped back before they saw me. That night, I opened my bank account and stared at the numbers until they became a plan. Weeks later, a realtor showed me a quiet bungalow by a lake. Wide porch, bright windows, a back room perfect for an office. You can pay cash, my advisor told me, and breathe. So I did. The first time I turned that key, the water whispered behind the house like it was keeping my secret. Tessa was the first person I invited over. She showed up with plants and a toolkit. Do they know? She asked. Not yet, I said, back at the Christmas table. Mom's voice trembled. Why would you hide this from us? Because you never listened, I answered. You only measured her. Marissa laughed sharply. Sure, And I'm royalty. Tessa leaned forward. It's real. I've been there. The energy in the room shifted, but for the first time in my life, my pulse didn't race. I stood. Merry Christmas, I said softly, and I walked out. The cold air slapped my cheeks awake as I crossed the driveway. Behind me, conversation tried to restart, thin and brittle like tinsel unraveling. Tessa followed. You okay? She asked under the porch light. I'm done shrinking, I said, watching my breath rise into the night. To the lake house, the key turned cleanly. The silence inside felt earned. Water tapped gently against the shore. That night, I slept like a door that finally locked. After New Year's, the family group chat went quiet, then the calls started. Mom's name filled my screen, over and over until it blurred into missed notifications. Elena, we need to talk. Her first voicemail said, tight and brittle. Tessa filled me in. Marissa's promotion never came. The credit cards went to collections. The mortgage slipped. By spring, the dream home was listed for sale. Mom reached me the week the listing went live. Your sister needs help, she said. You have money, just a loan. Just until she gets back on her feet. Until the next emergency? I asked gently. Silence. I'll help her build a budget. I continued. I'll read her our sum. I'll coach her through interviews. But I won't fund the mask. Her inhale shook through the phone. I'm sorry, I said, and I meant it. But sorry doesn't rewind years. I set rules. No comparisons, no guilt, no money conversations. And when those lines were crossed, I ended the call. Each boundary hurt, then healed. That weekend, Tessa came over with seedlings. We planted them along my porch, our hands deep in cool soil. The wind lifted my hair. The lake air was sharp and honest. I watched the fragile green stems tremble in the dirt and realized something. This wasn't victory. It was stability, and sometimes the strongest glow-up isn't loud, sometimes it's quiet. It's the sound of water against the shore. It's a key turning in a lock you paid for yourself. It's leaving a table where you were never seen, and building one of your own. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever been the other sibling, the underestimated one, the quiet achiever, remember this. You don't need applause to build a real future. You just need the courage to stop shrinking, and maybe one clean turn of the key.